I ignored Fallout New Vegas for years, and it might be the biggest mistake of my gaming life. After Fallout 3 completely captured me back in the day, I kept hearing amazing things about New Vegas, but for some reason I just never got around to it. This is a post-apocalyptic Wild West adventure set in the Mojave Desert, where you'll be juggling gunfights, faction politics, and dialogue choices that actually ripple through the entire story. You don't need to have played the earlier games to enjoy it. One of its biggest strengths is that it hands you a completely blank slate to become whoever you want, whether that's a smooth-talking diplomat, a ruthless gunslinger, or something in between. And once you add the mods into the mix, this thing turns into a whole different beast. Better visuals, customizable systems, and lots of more stuff that I cannot show here. After finally completing it, it's become my favorite game of all time. If you love a world that actually reacts to what you do in it, you should not skip this one. Also, Fallout 5 is coming soon. Next up is Control, a game that sat in my backlog for way too long before it completely blew me away. This is a supernatural action game with a conspiracy thriller vibe, and if you've played anything with a similar eerie, bureaucratic horror atmosphere, you'll feel right at home here. The gameplay mixes gunplay with telekinetic powers in a way that feels genuinely fresh, and the Ashtray Maze mission alone is worth the price of admission. It's one of the best sequences I've experienced in any game. The creepy, sinister tone combined with insane visual spectacle makes this one so well crafted. I'd recommend Control to literally anyone just for that one mission, and with the sequel coming this year, now's the perfect time to catch up. Resident Evil 7 is next, and this one surprised me hard after how disappointed I was with Resident Evil 6. I avoided the series for years only to discover that 7 is now one of my top 3 Resident Evil games of all time. This is a first-person survival horror game that completely reinvents the series formula, trading action-heavy set pieces for slow-burn dread and claustrophobic exploration. The opening hours had me more tense and engaged than almost any game I can remember. Its pure, unfiltered atmosphere. If you've been avoiding the series because of the weaker recent entries, this is the one that'll pull you right back in. Then there's Nier Automata, a game I overlooked so many times before finally giving it a shot, and now it's one of my all-time favorites. It's an action RPG with hack-and-slash combat, but underneath that stylish exterior is a surprisingly philosophical, emotional story that I was absolutely not expecting. The true ending in particular will completely blow you away, so stick with it. My tip, start on easy difficulty, then switch it up once you've got a feel for the combat. This is such a unique experience, and I'd recommend it to anyone who wants a game that's a lot deeper than it looks on the surface. Next game we have is Hades, a roguelike where you will absolutely get your ass handed to you over and over again. Each run throws you back into the underworld, but you keep unlocking boons and upgrades that gradually make you stronger, and the run's more manageable. Some players apparently beat this on their very first try. That was definitely not me. But after a lot of deaths and a lot of persistence, I finally reached the ending, and it felt incredibly earned. If you enjoy roguelikes with real progression and a story that keeps evolving the more you play, Hades deserves a spot on your list. Next up is Cyberpunk 2077, and yes, I was sitting on this one. I tried it at launch, but it was so rough that I dropped it like many others and never came back. But years later, after countless patches from the devs and a new PC upgrade on my side, I decided to give it another shot, and it felt like an entirely different game. This is an open-world action RPG set in a sprawling, futuristic neon city, and in my opinion, it's the best recreation of a cyberpunk metropolis I've ever seen or expected in any game. Every aspect improved dramatically from where it started. The stunning visuals, guns and combat, skills, trees, everything. Whole city feels alive. If this feels overwhelming to you, just stick with the main story and you will love it. It's genuinely worth revisiting now. And then I played Kingdom Come Deliverance. Yeah, I played it after reading so much about recently released Deliverance 2. This series is a kind of grounded medieval RPG that takes realism to a whole new level. The role-playing elements and dialogue are genuinely fun and immersive, though fair warning, the combat is slow and demands a lot of practice before it clicks. The map is massive too, so traveling can feel like a bit of a slog at times. But that same commitment to realism in both the graphics and the gameplay is exactly what makes it stand out. If you want a game that skips the fantasy tropes for something more authentic and realistic, this one's worth the patience it demands.
Welcome, brother.
Days Gone is the next game which I enjoyed playing a few months ago. It's an open-world survival action game with zombie-like hordes, and while it wasn't life-changing, I was pleasantly surprised by just how much I enjoyed it. The graphics hold up well, the physics are genuinely fun to mess around with, and the cinematics do a solid job of pulling you into the story. My favorite part, though, was upgrading and customizing the bike. It's a small mechanic that ends up being really satisfying. If you want a solid, underrated survival game, this one deserves more credit than it gets. And finally, there are two games I am playing right now. One is Palworld 1.0, and other hidden gem is Sleeping Dogs, which made me realize what I've been missing. It's an open-world action game with a strong martial arts combat system following an undercover cop infiltrating a criminal organization in Hong Kong. Once you start unlocking more of Wei's martial arts moves and getting pulled into his undercover story, it's hard not to get hooked. And on top of that, the soundtrack is genuinely great. If that combination doesn't win you over, this probably isn't the game for you, but for most people, I think it will be fun. And that's my list of biggest old PC games, which I seriously wish I'd played sooner. What games made you feel the same way? Let me know in comments below. Seriously, I read every single one of those. Thanks for watching.